I have been suffering from uremia for 5 years. My wife advised me to make a will. I want to leave all my inheritance to her and the kids, just 2 days before the paperwork was processed. She had a car accident while traveling with her first love when I received the call from the traffic police. I was undergoing dialysis at the hospital. That day was her first love's birthday. They went to soak in a hot spring together. No matter whether you are on dialysis or not, the police said a family member must come to sign. Without me, who will take care of your whole family? Don't be ungrateful. After I brought her back from the police station, I secretly made another will. I left the inheritance to a stranger. While I was undergoing dialysis at the hospital, I received a call from Sophia. Since she asked me to make a will, I haven't seen her for 3 days. She asked on the phone, "Where are you? Hurry and come to the traffic police station. Something happened on my side. You must come over." Sophia's commanding tone made me tense up. She clearly knows that I'm not well. I can't handle this kind of stress. I'm still undergoing dialysis. I can't go for now, that's what I meant. Sophia suddenly became agitated. "Ryan, have I been too polite to you? Is your illness even treatable? Is it still useful? If something happens to me, you and your family will be in for a tough time." I suddenly felt a sharp pain in my stomach. I almost threw up right there in the hospital. "Can he not come?" A man's voice came through the phone. "Sophia, you're with someone else," I had just asked. Sophia interrupted me. "What does this have to do with you? He is my colleague. We are on a business trip together. You need to ask this too. Dialysis cannot be stopped. I can't stop treatment just because of something Sophia said. Forget it, don't come over. I'll tell the police that you're already dead." Sophia hung up the phone. Her tone was icy cold. It felt as if we didn't know each other at all. My heart sank immediately. I'm too familiar with that man's voice. It's Sophia's first love, Michael. Now she works at the same company as Michael. I was playing on my phone. By chance, I stumbled upon Michael's social media posts. He posted 9 photos. All of them were taken while he was soaking in a hot spring. Although Sophia wasn't in the photos, when I opened the images, I could still hear Sophia's voice. One photo was taken right after they got intimate. I stared at the dialysis machine. I was a bit distracted. I didn't know what to do. This is the 5th year since I was diagnosed with uremia. My condition has worsened. Sophia matched my kidney type in the first year of my illness. As long as she is willing to donate a kidney to me, I would have hoped to survive. However, it was just at the crucial moment of preparing for a kidney transplant. She unexpectedly got pregnant. For the health of the child, I ultimately chose to give up my chance for a kidney transplant. In these years, I have not waited for a suitable kidney source. My health has been deteriorating. My condition has also been getting worse. Thinking of how Sophia gave birth to a son for me, I decided to leave all my inheritance to her and the child before I pass away. But what I didn't expect was, she was actually in such a hurry. While I was still undergoing treatment, she had already contacted her first love. I smiled helplessly. Looking back at these 5 years of marriage, it feels like a joke. Looking at Michael's photo, I commented, "Being with someone else's wife seems to be having a great time." After replying in less than a minute, Sophia's call came in again. Ryan, I think you must be crazy indeed. I've lost control a bit." Sophia seems to have forgotten. This hot spring is the place we visited during our honeymoon. She was there when I was sick. She left with another man. It's truly speechless. Sophia's accusations got to me. I had a few arguments with her on the phone. "Ryan, I really didn't expect you to be so calculative." She took a deep breath, as if she finally forgave me. Then she said, "You need to apologize to Michael immediately." I was so angry that I hung up the phone. "Ryan, how have you been lately?" The phone screen displayed a familiar number. It was Emily, who grew up with me. "Calling," she said. "I want to see you." After marrying Sophia, she deleted all the female contacts from my phone. She said it was to prevent others from sharing me. But she has been frequently interacting with other men herself. I deleted the repeated excuses I had typed in the chat box. I dialed that number. "Hello." Emily's voice made me feel particularly at ease. She asked me, "Ryan, are you okay? I heard you've not been well lately." Emily's voice gradually lowered. I felt increasingly uneasy. This sister, who is not related to me by blood, actually cares about me. Meanwhile, my wife Sophia doesn't seem to care at all. She called and said, "Emily, can you come pick me up? I just finished dialysis." Emily suddenly became excited. "What dialysis? Just wait, I'll be right over." Emily is the same age as me. She is my cousin, but in reality she was adopted. We are not related by blood. Back in college we had a brief period of flirtation. The pressure from our families prevented us from moving forward. Until I met Sophia. Emily knew after I got married. She deleted all my contact information out of anger. Then she went abroad. It's been 2 years recently. She just came back. We've run into each other a few times at work, but no one mentioned the past. "Ryan, I don't know how long it has been." Emily's voice came through. I turned around to look. She was standing there. She looked almost unchanged from a few years ago in school. "But I am different from others. I have uremia. I look much older than my actual age. What happened to you? How did you become like this?" Emily's tears kept flowing down. I wanted to reach out and wipe them away. "Okay, Ryan." Suddenly, Sophia's scolding voice came from the dialysis room. "No wonder you didn't come when I called you. Turns out you were here meeting your old flame." I shot her a cold glance. Then I said to Emily, "Let's go." Emily just helped me stand up. Sophia suddenly pushed her away with force. She shouted, "Get away. Who do you think you are? Do you want to interfere in our family's matters? Do you have the right to do that?" Emily was affected by what she said. Not only did she not back down, but she actually held on to me tighter. "I'm Ryan's friend. We still have business to discuss." Sophia let out a cold laugh. "Discuss business? He's about to collapse. The company is already mine. What business do you still have with him? She can't wait for something to happen to me, so that her Michael can take over the company I've worked so hard to build." Sophia is particularly sharp-tongued. Emily is no match for her at all. "Sophia, what are you doing here?" I said. "If you have something to say, just say it." Sophia extended her hand and said, "Give me your driver's license. And also hand over the key to the safe. Haven't you already arranged your will? Your health is so poor right now. What if one day you're no longer here? It would be better to give it to me now. I'll speak slowly. The previous will no longer count." Sophia was surprised. I heard that I mentioned the will being void." Sophia's tone softened a bit. She immediately changed her expression, with a smile on her face. It seemed like the fierce person from earlier was not her at all. "Ryan, didn't we agree on this before? Didn't you promise to leave all the money to the kids and me?" I turned to look at her. "Say it, you are right. I do want to leave the money to my children, not to you, even if you are their guardian." Emily listened to what I said, furrowed her brows. She looked at me, clearly understanding my implication. However, it seems Sophia hasn't noticed the problem yet. She emphasized it once again. "That is our son." I let out a cold laugh. I didn't say anything more. "Emily, can you take me back to the office, that home? It seems there is no place for me anymore." I held on until I was out of Sophia's sight. I suddenly collapsed in Emily's car. Emily said, "Ryan, why don't you stay at my place for a while?" Emily said this very naturally. It seemed there was no inconvenience at all. "Then you, family." I just opened my mouth. Emily interrupted me. "We have long been divorced." Emily succinctly summarized her marriage experience with the words flash marriage and flash divorce. "It seems I am the only one still holding on to this relationship. Maybe I should let go if this continues. We will both suffer greatly after the dialysis." I felt extremely exhausted. In the end, I didn't have Emily take me home. Instead, I had her help me book a hotel. 2 days later, Sophia still called me. She was still quite impatient on the phone. "When are you planning to come back? Are you not taking care of the child at all? When I was in better health before, every weekend, I wanted to take the child out to play. She always found various excuses to avoid it. Now she actually brought up the child herself." "That's really rare, son." I paused. "Didn't Michael used to help take care of the child often?" Sophia stuttered. She asked, "What do you mean by that?" "It's nothing," I said. "If there's nothing important in the future, then don't call me." After saying that, I hung up the phone. Then I added her number to the blacklist. The insurance company called me. They asked me about the last car accident. They said, "Mr. Ryan, I heard from your wife. Are you planning to transfer this car? I firmly deny that. Impossible. This car has always been mine from now on. I will never let her take anything from me again. I haven't been to the company for half a month. It feels like the company is almost a private territory for Sophia and Michael. In the past, Sophia used to behave so well in front of me. I thought she would be a virtuous wife and mother. But who knew, not long after getting married, her true colors were fully revealed. As a wife, she could also put on an act until we had children. I walked into the company wrapped in clothes. The front desk supervisor recognized me first. Mr. Ryan. She looked at me in surprise. She asked, "What happened to you?" I shook my head with a bitter smile. I asked, "How long has it been since my office was cleaned?" She hesitated for a moment. "Speak. Ryan is here. We clean your office every day. It's just that." I arrived at the top floor office. I found that the nameplate at the door had been changed. I was a bit surprised. When did Michael become the company's CEO? I pushed the door open. I saw Michael and Sophia hurriedly separate. What happened here just now? No need to say more. I can guess. Ryan, why did you suddenly come? There are outsiders present now. It's not convenient for me to get angry. I can only say, please leave my office. Ryan, I can see that you're not feeling well. That's why I asked Michael to come help at the company. Don't take it too seriously. I slammed my fist on the table in anger. Am I petty? Do you understand what boundaries are? Do you understand what boundaries are? You brought a man to my company, and you let him sit in my seat. What do you think I would think? Sophia approached me. She seemed to want to comfort me, but I noticed obvious red marks on her neck, clearly just left behind. Her clothes were also a bit disheveled. I said to her, "Don't come over." I pushed her away. I said, "It's really uncomfortable." Sophia's eyes widened. She looked at me in shock, as if I had wronged her. Michael said to Sophia, "Sophia, you go out first. I'll talk to Ryan." He looked at me with a hint of a provocative smile. He placed his hand on my shoulder. "Brother Ryan, let's talk it over. Don't be so angry." I shrugged his hand off my shoulder. I pointed at the door and said, "Leave my office right now. Otherwise, I'll call the police immediately." Michael didn't move. He just clenched his fists. I haven't reacted yet. He hit me square in the face with a punch. He shouted, "Get away from me." Michael kept cursing. Punches rained down on my face like raindrops. I used to be able to stand up to him, but ever since I got sick, I've lost over 30 pounds. Now I'm no match for him at all. He hits hard. I want to scream for help, but my throat feels tight. Although the whole company is technically mine, how many can really help me? Everything in front of me is blurry. Just when I was about to give up hope, the door was suddenly pushed open. It was Emily. She brought the police in. They immediately restrained Michael. "Oh no, we were just playing around." Michael's eyes were red. He kept explaining that he was just joking. But Emily didn't give him a chance to defend himself. She said directly, "He did it on purpose to hurt me." Emily helped me stand up, gently wiping the blood off my face. Then she held me tightly. He said softly, "He has a criminal record." Sophia looked at us with jealousy. She asked, "Are you sure there's nothing between you and Emily?" Then she added, "However, maybe your physical condition doesn't allow it either." Sophia had a smile on her face that I had never seen before. That smile felt strange to me. I was completely disappointed in her. Emily called an ambulance for me, preparing to take me to the hospital. Michael suddenly shouted, "Emily." That voice instantly silenced the entire room. These two seemingly unrelated people somehow intersected at some point. Emily voluntarily rolled up her sleeve, revealing the scars on her arm. "These are the scars left by him during our marriage." He laid his hands on me. "He has a history of violence, so this time it was intentional harm." Michael and Emily are already married, on the way to the hospital. I want to see the injury on Emily's arm. At first, she wanted to avoid it, but I stopped her. "So you married Michael after going abroad?" She lowered her head, recalling that marriage from 10 years ago. She still feels confused to this day. "After getting married, he became violent with me. Later, we separated." Emily tried hard to hold back her tears. She took a deep breath. "I can't blame others. I can only blame myself for being too impulsive back then." I shook my head. "About what happened back then, I also have a responsibility. If I had been braver at that time, the outcome might have been different. Both Emily and I fell silent. No one mentioned the previous events again. Michael hit me. As a result, it was classified as provoking trouble. I was directly detained for 7 days. Sophia is looking everywhere for someone to get him out, but she hasn't found a way yet. In the end, she found me, after a simple bandaging at the hospital. That night, I returned to the villa I bought in the suburbs. I heard from the servant at home. The child has already been sent to summer camp by Sophia. He won't be back for about a month. I asked the servant, during this time, besides coming back alone, has Sophia returned with anyone else? The servants looked at each other. They wanted to hide it but felt they had to say it. After all, I pay their salaries every month. Mr. Ryan, to be honest with you, the lady has indeed brought someone back recently. I can guess without asking. That person is Michael. I took a deep breath. Suddenly, my chest hurt badly. I couldn't help but ask, was the child at home at that time? The young master was not only at home but also. The lady even had the young master call that man Dad. I was hospitalized for a while recently. I left all the family matters to her. It has only been a little over 2 years. My parents suddenly passed away in a car accident. My relationship with my son has also gradually become distant. At first, I just felt like I was unlucky. I didn't blame anyone else, looking back now. Perhaps Sophia was behind all these things. A little while ago, the doctor said I might not live for more than 6 months. I have slowly accepted this reality. Exactly 6 months later, the company is going public. By then, even if I am not defeated by illness, Sophia and Michael will probably make it hard for me to hold on. What I told you today, please don't let it get out. After saying that, I turned and entered the study, preparing to open the safe, but I only turned it once, and it showed the password was incorrect. Others do not understand the characteristics of this safe. Repeated alarms can only indicate when I am not at home. Sophia has tried multiple times to open the safe, but she has not succeeded. The safe contains my previous paper will, although I have already informed the lawyer if this will has not been destroyed, and I suddenly pass away without a new will, then this will take effect immediately. This will was established after my diagnosis of uremia. Under Sophia's supervision, looking back now, it feels like an unequal clause. All my belongings will be left to her and the children. Even my parents are placed behind. I really didn't expect. You started thinking about my family's property so soon. My fingers gently slid over the paper of the will. I let out a cold laugh. A plan emerged in my mind. Ryan, Ryan, Ryan. I heard someone downstairs calling for me in a hurry. It's Sophia. She actually came back. I quickly put away the documents in my hands. Just as I reached the door, I bumped right into her. Why are you back? I said coldly. I wanted to bypass her and leave, but she suddenly hugged me. As soon as I opened the door and saw her, I felt something was off. Sophia was wearing a particularly revealing outfit. This is completely unlike her usual style. Michael is still in detention, with her dressing like this. I don't even need to guess what she wants to do. Sure enough, Sophia reached out and wrapped her arms around my waist. Leaning against my back, she whispered, "I'm sorry, it was my fault. Ryan, can you forgive me?" Her gentle tone I've never heard before. Many years ago, even if I would rather endure pain, I want to give her and the child happiness. I've never seen Sophia like this. Now she speaks to me in this tone. It's just because of what I said at the company. Before that, she remembers. Only my son can inherit my estate. She is now trying to please me in various ways. It's just to make me have a child with her. Only in this way can she ensure that her share of the inheritance is smoothly passed on. I see through his thoughts. Of course, I won't let her succeed. Sophia, you know my current health condition. We cannot be together. Sophia tightly hugged me. Teardrops kept flowing down. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Michael and I were just joking around. The one I truly love is you. I felt a heaviness in my heart. I never expected the woman I liked would turn out like this. You love me. I turned around. I grabbed her arm. You just said you love me. Without Michael's support, Sophia can only rely on me. She said, "Of course I love you. You are the father of my child and the pillar of our family. Of course I love you." That's what I said. Sophia started to undress. but I stopped her. "It's so cold outside. You don't have to do this." I pretended to take his hand actively. "I just want you and our son to be with me. We will all be by your side." Sophia handed over the traditional Chinese medicine. "That was what I had the nanny heat up downstairs just now. There shouldn't be any problems with this." "Right," I joked. "If there really is a problem, you and Michael will have to take responsibility." Sophia's complexion looked normal, to cooperate with her in finishing this act. I gulped down that hard-to-swallow traditional medicine. She pleaded, "Ryan, I'm begging you, give me another child." Sophia reached out to unbutton my suit. "Speak, you prefer sons, but I prefer daughters more. I only want one daughter." I frowned. "Ask her, what are you doing?" But not long after, I started to feel something was off. "This medicine tastes really strange." I concluded that Sophia shouldn't be that bold. I never expected. She actually added to my herbal soup. I suddenly felt a sharp pain in my chest. I collapsed to the ground. Slowly, foam started to come out of my mouth. Sophia had never seen me like this. She screamed in fright. "What's wrong with you? She isn't smart enough." "I should have realized it long ago. I have uremia. I just had dialysis not long ago. I can't do intense exercise. This medication can easily lead to arrhythmia. Hurry up." I was feeling dazed. Then I heard Emily's voice again. Emily saved me once more. I was lying in the hospital room. All I could smell was the scent of disinfectant. Cough, cough, cough. She heard my movements. Emily quickly came over to check on me. "What about Sophia?" I immediately wanted to grab her and send her straight to jail with Michael. Emily walked over. She took my hand voluntarily. She said sincerely, "Don't be angry. The most important thing now is to take care of yourself. Leave the rest to me." She paused, then added, "As long as you are willing to trust me." At this point, besides you, I can't trust anyone else either. Emily smiled wryly. She said softly, "I know it might not be appropriate to say this now." She paused. "Continue, but I want you to understand, even if your current physical condition is not good, there are still people in this world who love you deeply." I stared at Emily. My heart was filled with surprise. This girl whom I have hurt actually loves me sincerely. Fate really plays tricks on people. We missed the most precious 5 years. It's truly thought-provoking. "Let him go." Sophia stormed over angrily. She pushed Emily away forcefully. "I'm still alive. You all are starting to act so deeply affectionate. What position do you place me in? I'm already impatient, Sophia. Just go." Sophia hugged me tightly. "Say it, Ryan. I truly realize that I was wrong. Why don't you believe me? Instead, you choose to believe a stranger. How many times do you want me to say it? I truly love you." I let out a cold laugh. I stared directly into Sophia's eyes. I asked, "You love me, really?" A heaviness settled in my heart. "Didn't we already match when you were pregnant? And now you're not pregnant either. Why don't you donate a kidney to me?" Sophia suddenly let go of my hand. I had long guessed she would be scared. Someone like her, who only cares about herself, how could she possibly be willing to donate for me? "Ryan, didn't the doctor say you are already in the late stage? Wasn't it said before that you couldn't donate? Even if you donate, it won't help." I laughed at myself for being so infatuated. 3 months ago, the doctor told me about my condition. "Mr. Ryan, now there are only 6 months left for the best kidney donation time." The doctor sighed. His tone carried a sense of regret. "If a suitable kidney source cannot be found within these 6 months, your condition may become more severe." I heard him say that. Sophia immediately flashed through my mind, but in the end I still did not agree. What if the surgery is unsuccessful? I don't want the child to lose both a father and a mother, considering the child's future. I rejected his suggestion. He gradually stopped looking for a suitable kidney source. The current dialysis treatment, rather than being for healing, it's more like a delay of time. Seeing Sophia's reaction, I finally understood. The things she said to me were lies from the very beginning. She even romanticized it as love at first sight, and I believed it to be true. How ridiculous. I was unwilling. I pushed her away. "Say it. Before I pursue the matter of your intentional harm, you better leave on your own." Sophia staggered out of the ward. The surroundings quieted down. I slowly closed my eyes. Teardrops fell. After a while, Emily said, Take good care of yourself. I'll help you find kidney sources both domestically and internationally. During Emily's hospitalization, she only called me once, he said. Ryan, I'm currently abroad. I've already contacted several kidney sources for you. They will gradually return to the country for matching. The chances of success are very high. Don't give up. Up until now, hearing such news, I dare not be too happy. I'm always worried about being disappointed again and again, or rather, I never had much hope to begin with, because the higher the expectations, the greater the disappointment. The results proved no miracle appeared. The matches Emily helped me find all failed one after another. Mr. Ryan, don't be disappointed. Miss Emily is still trying to find a solution. The doctor is full of confidence in me, but I feel disappointed myself. Dragging my weak body, I returned to the company, started handling various matters. During this time, Michael and Sophia have made a mess of the company. I gradually got the company back on track. I've thought it through. If I'm really gone, I will sell my shares in the company and donate everything to charity. Mr. Ryan, someone is looking for you in the office. I secretly met with the private detective I hired. He handed me a document. He said, Mr. Ryan, this is the information you requested. After saying that, he handed me a paternity test report. This is proof of my biological relationship with the child. It took a lot of effort to obtain this report. Now, I even suspect that Sophia sent the child abroad to prevent me from uncovering the truth. The report shows I have no blood relation with my son, but he is 100% the biological son of Michael. I said with a bitter smile. Sigh, I had long anticipated it would be like this. It seems so. My judgment about Sophia and Michael was correct. They were already in a relationship. The private detective found evidence, proving that they were already a couple in college. Your breakup with Miss Emily is likely due to their interference. At that time, I was in the thick of it. I didn't notice anything amiss at all. Looking back now, I realized there were flaws everywhere. Emily and I were just in an ambiguous stage. No one was clear about our relationship. But at that time, Sophia began to approach me frequently. She often lectured me on moral and ethical matters. Michael was doing the same around the same time. With sweet talk, he led Emily into marriage. This cannot be entirely blamed on them. It's my problem. It's because I wasn't brave enough. The private detective presented another report. I opened the file bag. Inside were photos of my parents' car accident. This really isn't an accident, is it? The private detective nodded. In fact, Michael's DNA was found at the accident scene long ago, but he provided an alibi at that time. He claimed he was abroad. However, we couldn't find any records of his entry or exit through official channels. Michael went abroad illegally. Later, he married Miss Emily. Only then did he get the chance to settle down. With that, everything became clear. Michael and Sophia, this poor couple, through their own means, actually achieved their goal. They attempted to swallow the Ryan family's fortune. The death of my parents is also related to the two of them. Mr. Ryan, what should we do now? I looked at the high pile of documents on the table, thinking to myself to hand all of this over. I must make them pay the price. The assistant hurriedly pushed the door open, without even knocking. Mr. Ryan, the hospital just called. They said the matching was successful. The doctor told me. They found a suitable kidney source for you. I was both surprised and happy. I stood up immediately. I picked up the phone to verify this good news with the doctor. After hanging up the phone, I planned to share this news with more people, but I realized that there aren't many people I have a good relationship with anymore. At that moment, I thought of Emily. She has been very busy lately. I don't know if she is in the country or abroad. Is it still too late to call her now? Even though I thought that, I still dialed the number. I didn't have much hope, but she actually answered. Hello. Emily's voice was calm. What happened? Emily, I'm really grateful to you. My matching was successful. Emily was softly sobbing on the other end of the line. If she were here with me, I would definitely hug her. But now I can't do anything. Ryan, I might be abroad when you have the surgery. I'll wait for you to recover. We definitely need to meet up. Emily's tone was very calm. Both she and I understood. I just responded briefly. "Okay, wait for me." Since then, Emily seemed to have disappeared. The assistant mentioned her company seems to be in some trouble. I'm in the country. I really can't help her solve the problems. On top of that, I have to prepare for various matters related to the kidney transplant surgery. I'm simply too busy. In the end, I could only send others to check on Emily's company abroad. On the first day of my hospitalization, the people who went to the branch office brought back news. They said the people at Emily's company mentioned she has been missing for 3 months. That is to say, since that last phone call, she hasn't shown up again. I started to worry about her safety, but the private detective told me, during this time, Michael and Sophia have been under investigation at the detention center. It's simply impossible to come out. I had the people I sent out continue to track Emily's whereabouts. I was soon pushed into the operating room. No one accompanied me. I signed the surgical consent form myself. As soon as the surgery began, I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I found no one beside me. After a while, the assistant came. He said he was sent by the company to visit me. He said, "Mr. Ryan, the company sent me to check on you." Seeing her radiant smile, I knew the surgery went smoothly. After resting for a few days, I finally received a call from Emily. We chatted briefly. I asked her, "When are you likely to come back?" Emily hesitated several times. She didn't directly answer my question. She just told me to take good care of my health. "Don't wait for her," she said. "Ryan, I might have to stay abroad for a while longer." Emily's voice started to choke up a bit, but she quickly suppressed her emotions. I know she is trying hard to act like nothing is wrong. "Because someone told me in the morning." Emily actually never went abroad. I asked Emily, "What's really wrong with you?" She didn't answer. She just hung up the phone. I fell into deep confusion. I didn't know what to do next. There were many things. I didn't even have the chance to tell her, "Emily, where exactly are you? What are you hiding from me?" While I was recovering, I not only had to deal with company affairs, but also worry about Michael and Sophia's matters. The assistant told me, "Sophia's child has returned." She asked if I wanted to meet. I directly refused. "Send the child back to her parents. I think they can't come out for a while." The case of Sophia and Michael was handled quickly. Before the verdict, both of them requested to see me. I arranged for them to meet on the same day. "It's been so long since I last saw Sophia. I'm a bit surprised. She looks much more haggard than before," she said, after plotting everything out. In the end, she ended up losing herself. Sophia didn't answer directly. She just shook her head and looked at me. She said, "What did you gain? We only ended up hurting each other." "Yeah, all because of my mistakes in youth that I regret for the rest of my life." Michael stared at me, angry enough to put on handcuffs and still wanted to strike. But through the glass, he could only give up. "Ryan, how are you still alive?" In the face of his curse, "I really don't care. We just don't see eye to eye." It's useless to say more. I don't want to continue this conversation. "Michael, now you're going to have a terrible end." When I walked out of the prison gates, I vaguely saw a familiar figure. Is that Emily? I drove after her, but in the end I lost track of her. During the last check, the doctor told me I had fully recovered. He said, "It's all thanks to the successful matching and the donor's active cooperation." I then asked, "Doctor, can you tell me who this donor is? I know this matter must be kept confidential, but I really want to thank this person, or I want to find Emily's whereabouts through her." The doctor directly refused me. "She doesn't want you to know who she is. Just wish you good health." "How is she?" "I just hope this donor is as healthy as I am. I just hope that this donor is as healthy as I am." But speaking of this, the doctor hesitated a bit. "I have to tell you, her situation is not very optimistic to meet your needs. She has gained 30 pounds. She also has Mediterranean anemia." Hearing this, the concerns and doubts I've had in my heart finally have an answer. The person who matched my type is no one else. It is Emily. She is not abroad at all now. She is right here in the country, right beside me. After confirming the target, the private detective quickly found out the hotel where Emily was staying. I disguised myself as a hotel staff member to knock on the door. After entering, Emily surprisingly didn't recognize me. "Emily." She heard me calling her. She turned around and wanted to run. I quickly grabbed her. I asked, Why are you hiding from me?" Emily had her back to me. She didn't say a word. I saw her face was full of tears. "I am not fully recovered yet, I heard her words. I hugged her without hesitation. In my eyes, "You will always be the most beautiful. I have always liked you." Last time she confessed to me first, this time, "It's my turn now. I haven't lost weight yet." Emily cried with joy. She held me tightly. At that moment, I felt as if I had returned to my student days. To find a suitable match for me, Emily hadn't rested properly for several days, until she fainted and was sent to the hospital for a full checkup. Only then did she realize that she actually met the matching criteria, so she kept it from me, silently underwent surgery for me. For that, she even intentionally gained 30 pounds. "Am I being foolish?" Emily asked me. I shook my head and said, "You are not foolish. I am the foolish one. I really am confused. I didn't realize that my most beloved person was right beside me." I never expected that Emily would love me so deeply. After I recovered from my illness, I immediately wrote my will. I decided to split the inheritance equally with Emily. This time, she appeared as my wife.